Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Muriel, Nurse Muriel. I am a registered nurse who prefers long-term care. Let me start by saying welcome to all my new subscribers. I know I have a good bit of new subscribers, and I want to tell y'all thank y'all for watching a video or two or three and deciding I'm giving information that you find valuable. To my oldies but goodies, welcome y'all, welcome back. Thank y'all for continuing to watch my videos. Leaving comments down in the comment section. And for those 60-something% of y'all who watch my videos but don't subscribe, I'm gonna try not to take it personal because I'm not everybody's taste. But anywho, thank y'all for watching anyway. The minutes that you did go through and watch and decide, nah, she not for me, I appreciate those few minutes. Anywho, on today's video, and y'all excuse me for squinting, because y'all know I can't see that well. I'm not gonna speak that. I can't see that well, but I didn't want to wear my glasses because the ring light, you could see the, the circles in my glasses, and someone told me about that before, that doesn't look good on camera. And I don't want to put contacts in my eyes because I'm getting over like an eye infection. I got it about a week ago. I've been treating myself. It feels better, but I'm still a little cautious about putting contacts in my eyes. So I'm going to be squinting throughout this video, y'all. So please excuse me. But this video is dedicated to all my new nurses out there, all my new RNs, all mamas, baby mamas. What he said?
All the babies, mamas, baby mama.
So I had a subscriber name, y'all. This is how bad it is that I can't see. Got the paper right in front of me, y'all. My prescription is horrible. Miss BB2890, and she's a nursing student, and she had quite a few questions concerning being an LPN in long-term care. She asked me to do an in-depth video about being an LPN in long-term care. Let me turn this down. And so, excuse that if y'all hear that. That's my AC unit. My air went out in my house, and I purchased AC units to put throughout the house because I don't have $10,000, $15,000. Although it might be covered under my home owner's warranty. I don't know, y'all. Anyway, I've had people every summer that I lived in this house. I've had people, the people come out and work on that unit because it goes out every summer, and they have to come and fix it each time, and it goes. And this last time it went out twice this summer, and I just bought some AC units. Yeah, it doesn't look the best, but I have the units in the back of the house, so no one sees it from the road. And to the back of my house is actually another neighborhood, so you can't see the back of my house from the street. So the front of my house, you'll never be able to tell that I have those units in the window. But we had to stay cool, and it is what it is. So she had a few questions about being an LPN and long-term care, and this can go for RNs because, like myself, there are a lot of RNs who prefer long-term care who will not step foot in the hospital. I did go out on a limb and step, put my pinky toe in the acute care world, and I brought it right back, came right back to long-term care. So this is not just for LPNs. I just want to make that clear. This is for any new nurse going into long-term care who may have these questions. And thank you for asking me, for feeling like, I'm that one to give the answers. Y'all know I'm a long-term care girl. So she asked, what's the role of an LPN in long-term care? So LPNs can hold a lot of different roles in long-term care. You can be the floor nurse in long-term care. You can be the treatment nurse in long-term care. You can work in MDS in long-term care. You can be the ADON in long-term care. Or you can also be a unit manager in long-term care. It's a lot of different roles. I got a video I made a long time ago about the different positions in long-term care. I'm going to try to link that video under this video so you can see what each nurse does in each role. Also, infection control. That's another role a LPN can play in long-term care. So there are plenty of roles in long-term care, but my suggestion, if you're a fresh LPN, I suggest to first work as a floor nurse in long-term care so you can get the logistics of how things are done, what is expected of a long-term care nurse as far as the needs of the patient, everything that is encompassed in that patient, such as the care plan, the therapy schedule, the meals, the different types of meals, the different consistencies, of meals and different consistencies of their liquids, activities, like you get to see how activities is incorporated in the daily care of residents, the actual hands-on care, restorative, like you can get to see everything about the resident, different residents. So say you decide to become a treatment nurse, you'll know that, okay, these residents, to prevent certain breakdowns, all it takes is turning and repositioning the residents. But you as a floor nurse, you have worked and you have seen that they are not being turned and repositioned as frequently as they should be. So you could do an in-service on turning and repositioning. Or you can be the treatment, or you can work as the staff nurse and you can realize these hills aren't being floated like they should be, and that's why hills are breaking down. So you can do in-services on different different ways to prevent pressure ulcers. You could know the best time of the day to do this treatment with certain patients because you work with this patient and you know that this patient gets up every day around 9 o'clock in the morning. So if I want to do this person's treatment as a treatment nurse, I know I need to catch them before 8 a.m. You know, different things you can learn from being a floor nurse to help you succeed in other roles. Say you're an LPN coming in and you're working with a patient and you decide later on you want to be the MDS worker. So MDS, they are basically how the facility gets paid. If it's outside of private, I believe outside of private insurance, but it could possibly include private insurance too. But the federally funded dollars that the facility gets, MDS workers base their reviews, their assessments and everything off of the documentation that is done by the CNAs and the nurses. And so you as a floor nurse, you will know, okay, this is the best time. The CNAs need to document this accurately. They need to document this. They need to document this. This needs to get documented. You see how the CNAs are on the floor. You see that CNAs do extensive assist on certain patients, but they're documenting that they're just doing like standby, or like if a patient is a total care but the documentation is showing that this patient is just a supervision, like, so you'll know as the MDS worker something about this isn't right because this patient didn't do these things or wasn't able to do these things when I work with them, work with them on the floor. Or say you want to become the infection control nurse, so you work in the floor, you see staff members going in one room with a pair of gloves, coming out that room with the same gloves on, going into another room. You'll see staff members carrying trays, setting them up without washing their hands in between giving care. They'll give care to a patient and then they'll just throw the gloves off. They won't wash their hands, and then they'll go pick up a person's tray and take it to the next room. So you'll see little things that are done incorrectly. So you as infection control, you'll know what type of in-services or how things are being done in that building the incorrect way. So you'll know what type of in-services you need to have. As well as being in infection control, you have to do things at the standard of DHEC and the CDC. But I would suggest being a floor nurse first, even if it's just for 3 to 6 months, just to get the feel of the facility, the feel of the staff members and stuff before you go into those other roles. Now, if you're going in being a staff nurse, now let me just let you know, first of all, long-term care isn't for everyone. It isn't for everyone. You have to be very patient being a long-term care nurse. You have to have, how am I going to say this? You can't be a pushover. You can't be a pushover. You have to have a voice being a long-term care nurse, because for one, in long-term care, period, nursing, period, is a predominantly female profession. With a bunch of females comes a lot of cattiness. I don't want to say have a backbone, but you have to have. You can't be afraid of conflict. I'm gonna put it like that. You as a nurse, you have to be able to delegate to the CNAs, and sometimes it can become a little rough, especially when you're delegating to CNAs who've been there before you, who are used to doing things their way. They don't want to change their way, but their way is not necessarily the best way. It's just the quickest way for them to sometimes half-ass the job. Hate to say it, but it is what it is. You have to be able to delegate to other staff members. Some things you may find that it's best that you go ahead and do it on your own in order to get accurate results. Like I say in a lot of videos, I do my vital signs because I want accurate vital signs. And it just is what it is. I want accurate vital signs, so I'm going to do my vital signs. There are very few and far between CNAs that I actually trust to do vital signs for me. Like I can think of, in my 20-something years, I might can think of maybe five that I actually trust that when they brought me vital signs, they were the actual vital signs. And that's no lie. In 20-something years, I can maybe five, and I work with one of them today. But as far as the floor nurse, you have to pass medication. You have to provide treatments, because even if you have a treatment nurse, sometimes the treatment comes off, the treatment nurse is not there. You have to do that treatment. Weekends, treatment nurses normally don't work. You have to do that treatment. So you have to provide medication. You have to be able to do the treatments. You have to really hone down time management, and you have to get to know your patients. So sometimes there are patients who like to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and they only want to go back down to get changed, and then they want to get back up. So you got to kind of time your treatment with the time that they want to go get laid down. So you have to have good communication, y'all. Communication. You have to have good communication with your coworkers, with your other nurses on the floor, and with your CNAs. Definitely with your CNAs, you have to have good communication, because y'all going to have to coordinate things a lot as far as time and when things are going to get done. Like me, when I do my body audits, it's normally 9 times out of 10 is when the CNA is in there doing a change. So I'll let the CNAs know at the beginning of the shift. Most of the time I do at the beginning of the shift, hey, so-and-so is my body audit. Like, whenever you go change them, can you let me know so I can come look them out? That way you're not bothering the patient twice, especially on night shift, about doing body audits when the CNA just bathed them and you could have did it then. What else can you expect? You can expect to be stressed as a new LPN. You can expect to feel like this is too much, this is overwhelming, it's too much. It may be too much for you. I think if you give it some time, though, you'll get accustomed, you'll get your own rhythm, and you'll get used to it. Because even me going into a new facility, sometimes it takes me a little more time because I don't know the patient. So it takes me more time in a new facility to get acclimated to the way things are done. When I'm going to agency, like I go to new facilities, it takes more time than it would in a facility I'm familiar with. So in a facility I'm familiar with, even with me being familiar with it, my morning med pass is still going to take like 2 hours, minimum 2 hours. That's minimum. In a facility I'm not familiar with, it's probably going to take 3 hours. So don't base your progress and when you get done on when the next nurse is getting done, because that nurse probably even did all the work she was supposed to do anyway. Let's be honest. Have some patience. Give yourself some grace. You're new. If you start in a facility, see if you can get, I'm going to say at least a week's worth of training. Back in my day when I started, they give you 3 days and you on the floor by yourself. But see if you can get at least a week, if not more. If they tell you 3 weeks, take your full 3 weeks. Okay. What else can you expect? That's about it, really. I mean, you can expect a lot of things, but I don't want this video to be too long. Expect for them to try to get over on you. Expect for them to try to get you to do more work than you are capable of doing. Do not let these people do not let them do it to you. Like, sometimes you'll come in day shift and they'll be like, oh, can you work both carts? No, the hell, no, I can't. No, I can't work both carts. There's somebody in the office somewhere that has a nursing license that can come work this other cart. Because if you do it for them one time, they're going to continue to ask you to, they're going to continuously ask you to do it. And then you're going to get upset, but you did it for them that first time. Do not start something that you do not want to keep up. I'm going to just say it like that. Where is it better to work? Nursing home, assisted living, hospital, corrections. I throw corrections in there. She didn't say correction. Home health. Now, I can tell you right now, I really don't know anything about home health. If you're comfortable going in people's homes, then go for home health. I'm just not comfortable. I tried it once going in as like doing an assessment, being an assessment nurse. I didn't like going into people's homes, but I'm paranoid like that. I grew up watching too many crime shows. So, yeah, I can't tell you anything too much about home health. Assisted living, so chill, so laid back. If the pay was better, I would work in assisted living. When I say chill, so chill. You don't even have to be a nurse in assisted living. You could be a med tech. They do not really want RNs in assisted living. They do not need RNs in assisted living. The only reason I was able to get a few shifts in assisted living is because it was post-pandemic. They were desperate for nurses, and they took whatever they can get. And so when they got me in there, my pay wasn't even great, but for as laid back and as chill as it was, I took the pay cut. I'm that type of person. Sometimes it's not all about the money for me. It's about my sanity. I took actually like a $20 pay cut, $20 an hour to consistently work in an assisted living facility, and they even felt like they were still paying me too much, but it was so chill that I took that pay cut and I was happy. You'll love assisted living if you just want to be chill, laid back. The patients really have no level of acuity. They can do just about everything for themselves. A lot of them need assistance with like bathing. They need more assistance with like bathing. Some of them are incontinent. I thought you couldn't be incontinent in assisted living, but a lot of them are incontinent. But a lot of them are ambulatory. Some of them are stand and pivots. You won't find IVs. You won't find peg tubes. I don't even think you find Foleys in assisted living unless they're able to do the Foley care themselves, because they don't really hire CNAs in assisted living. They can just be like caregivers, which they have no certification, no nothing. There's really no level of skilled care in an assisted living facility. So assisted living facilities are a breeze. I love them. You won't make too much money in them, and I'm just saying compared to what you'll make in long-term care or corrections, but love assisted living. Corrections is where the money resides. Correction and long-term care, from what I understand, corrections is where the money resides. I don't know what you do as a corrections nurse. I know there's a nurse on here called Kimmy D, I believe. She was a corrections nurse. She may can tell you a little more about corrections. All I know is that's where the money resides. I don't know anything else about corrections. If you feel like I feel like I'm too friendly to work in corrections. That's why I would never do it. I'm a, hey, how you doing? Like, they'll probably say, oh, we're going to get over on this sucker right here, because I feel like I'm a little too friendly for corrections. So that's why I've never done it. And then I probably know too many people in there. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. I probably know too many people. Like, I probably know somebody who knows somebody who, like, somebody in there know. I just probably know people in there, and I don't want to work up in there with people I know from growing up, you know. Yeah, but I think I think I'm a little too friendly for corrections. Money is, they say it's really not that difficult. It's not as scary as you think it is. I just had never went into it. Hospital, I made a video about this. I would say absolutely not, unless you plan to get your RN and then become, be a RN working in the hospital. I honestly feel if you are an LPN, you're happy with being an LPN, you do not plan to go any further, do not go in the hospital. Yeah, you'll get your skills. Yeah, a lot of people feel like more important because they work in the hospital. They're more of a nurse because they work in the hospital. But you could be an LPN working in the hospital. You could feel like you're more of a nurse, but you're making $8, $9, $10 less than the person in long-term care. So is those skills you're learning, you're getting, the knowledge you're getting, is it worth the pay cut that you're taking, especially if you don't plan to go any further in your nursing career? Is it really worth it? Like that nurse in long-term care, you work in the hospital. Yeah, you starting IVs. We start IVs in long-term care. Yeah, you're learning more skills. But all the skills that you learn in the hospital, you do though as an LPN. All the skills that you do in the hospital, you do those same skills in long-term care. There isn't a skill in the hospital you're doing outside of monitoring blood transfusions, because we don't do blood transfusions in long-term care. Everything else they do, and everything else that an LPN can do, they do in long-term care. LPNs can't push. They can't draw blood from a central line. You have to be an RN to do that. Our LPNs can't initiate the blood transfusion. You have to be an RN to do that. You can monitor it, but you can't initiate it. To me, I really don't see the purpose of being an LPN in the hospital. I really don't. I may be wrong. If you're an LPN in the hospital, you tell me. Please tell me the skills that you have gained from working in the hospital. Is it worth the pay cut that you? Is it worth making on average like $300 less? well, let me say it like this, because they do have, but they have shift diff in long-term care too. So I'm not even gonna say that about the shift diff. Is it worth on average you making like $300, $400 less? I'm gonna say a month to work in the hospital. Now, mind you, it may balance itself out because the benefits are better in the hospital. Actual benefits, health, medical, and dental, and is usually more affordable. You don't pay as much for your benefits in the hospital as you do in long-term care, because long-term care is usually private unless you get into a federal long-term care facility or a state-run long-term care facility. But outside of that, I really don't see the purpose of being a long-term care. I really don't see the purpose of being an LPN in the hospital unless you plan to go further for your RN. That's just my opinion. Long-term care, the cons with long-term care as an LPN, the patient ratio is high. The patient to nurse ratio, the patient to tech ratio is high. They get a lot of meds, which is ridiculous, but you can be, like the video I made, be a proactive nurse. If you become a proactive nurse, you can kind of wean down that med list. You don't have to deal with the level of stress. I know people say long-term care is stressful. I thought long-term care was stressful until I started working in the hospital. Baby, that's a whole nother level of stress. I'm not gonna lie to you. The hospital is a whole nother level of stress. Long-term care was like a walk in the park. Now, I will say being a nurse working in the hospital made me a much better long-term care nurse. I will say that. I'm gonna always get a hospital is props for that, because I feel like it's made me an awesome long-term care nurse. However, that stress I felt in the hospital is not for me. But long-term care, you make more than a nurse in the you make more on average with the same years. If you're an LPN with a year experience and an LPN with a year experience, you're gonna make more money in long-term care than you are gonna make in the hospital. You are gonna have more patients in long-term care. You may have on average on day shift 25 to 30 patients, which 30 is a bit much. I wouldn't do it. You're only gonna have maybe 6, 7 in the hospital, but those 6 or 7 are gonna feel like 30. Trust me. Yeah, but really it boils down to the money. You make more money for, I consider it less work. I don't know. In the hospital, they kind of essentially treat LPNs like their supportive staff, like their patient care techs. Kind of like, to me, that's what these hospitals have really gone to. You'll see more. So if you plan to be an RN, you'll see more, you'll learn more. You'll be able to ease into your RN role in the hospital much easier, going from being a hospital LPN than from going from long-term care to the hospital. But that transition, even for RNs, is a big transition, going from the hospital as an RN to going to here, you want the charger? Going from long-term care to the hospital as an RN, that's a big transition too. It's a totally different ball game. So with LPN and RN, it's a big transition going from long-term care to the hospital. So yeah, I just feel like I just don't see the purpose of an LPN in the hospital. I'm no shade to anybody who's an LPN in the hospital. If you feel different, you let me know. Tell me why. I'm just talking on my thoughts, my experience. Just remember, I was an LPN in the hospital originally when I originally graduated. And I just felt like I just had to depend on the RNs too much, and that's just not for me. I want to do my thing. And I was an RN in the hospital too. If you're just watching this, when I got my RN, I eased into acute care. I worked in a level 1 trauma facility, and I politely eased my behind back out. Okay. What hourly rate? So this could be dependent on where you live. I'm in the southeast. I tell LPNs, negotiate. If you're going staff, see if you can get that 30 an hour. I'm going to say staff, see if you can get 30 an hour. Only because they're going to get an agency LPN in there, and they're going to pay them 35, 36, 40. Yeah, 40. I know agency LPNs making $40 an hour. I know some making more than that on a premium shift through agency, but I know agencies that are paying LPNs $40 an hour. So see if you can lock in that at least $30 an hour as an LPN, even a new grad, and then kind of negotiate from there. They may settle on like 28, but if you're getting a shift diff, you're going to hit 30 anyway. But yeah, see if you can get 30, because like right now, even the staff LPNs where I work, brand new LPNs coming in PRN, they're getting $35 an hour. Brand new PRN, and they're PRN, but they be up in there 3-4 days a week. So yeah. Speaking as staff, now agency is up, it's up and it's stuck. It's whatever you get, whatever you can get, you can get. But yeah, I would say $30 an hour in the southeast. New York, I hear they're bringing them up. In the north, I hear they're making like $35, $38 an hour. In California, they might be making like 38 too. I don't know, but all I can speak is in the southeast, except for Florida, because I heard they pay peanuts in Florida. Yeah, but I'm gonna say as a new staff LPN, see if you can get 30. See if you can get 30. What else? How long will it take you to be comfortable in long-term care? It depends. Some people never get comfortable in long-term care. I know nurses who say they would never work in long-term care. Long-term care get a bad rap. A lot of people look at long-term care and be like, ooh, like, you a nurse? Like, why long-term? Why working in a nursing home? Because I'm still a nurse regardless. I'm still a nurse regardless if I'm in the nursing home, whether I'm in the hospital, whether I'm at home health, corrections. I'm still a nurse. What it boils down to is, do I want to be a stressed out nurse? Or do I want to be over here in ease and chill and like have my mind relaxed? Long-term care is relaxing to me. It's not as bad as people make it seem. Even when when I wanted to change and I went to the hospital because my peers was making it sound so exciting, and some of them are still there, and I'm like, how y'all dealing with this stress? Y'all give me like, how y'all dealing with that? I don't want all that stress, and it's stressful to me in the hospital. But in long-term care, I feel like in order for you, if you think it's the thing for you, which a lot of people do not like long-term care. You may never get comfortable in long-term care. I hate to say it. You may feel like this is the worst. You don't know how people do it. You can't take it. All I'm going to say is give it a solid 30 days. 30 days. If you can make it. If it's stressing you out too bad, then just leave. There's no harm in just leaving. I'm going to say give it a solid 30 days, because once you get a routine, it's going to be like a walk in the park. Y'all, I'm serious. It's not bad to me. You have the same patience, which a lot of people don't like it because you really don't learn many skills. You learn enough for the long term, working long-term care. Like, you'll learn how to change out a peg if you want to. You'll learn how to start an IV if you want to. You'll learn how to put in and out Foley catheters if you want to. You'll learn how to draw blood if you want to, if you work in the right facility that do their own labs, It's certain skills you will learn. You may even learn trach care if you work a facility with trachs. A lot of nurses, they run from trach care, and I'm like, but you want to be an RN and go in the hospital, you need to go ahead and learn trach care, because you're going to be doing it in the hospital. You can't get in the hospital and be like, ooh, I don't want to work with trachs, so it ain't going to work like it. I'm sorry, it don't work like that. But yeah, you can learn a lot of skills in long-term care, and then you can become comfortable. I like comfort. Even when I was younger, y'all, I didn't want all that excitement. Like, I never really wanted all that. I just wanted to be laid back, chilling at ease. I walk in there and I laugh and joke. Like, I had a resident today when I walked in there, and I'm agency at this place, but he remember the last time I was there, that man got about 15 pills, and I sat there and watched him take every last one of them pills. And he was like, you really gonna sit here and watch me? And I said, yeah, that's what I'm supposed to do. And he was like, by the time I came back the second time, he was like, I wasn't even going to take these pills just because I don't want you to watch me. And I said, well, it's up to you. This medication is for you. It's not for me. I'm just doing my job. So when I came back today, I told him, I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to watch you take these pills. I'm going to trust that you're going to take these pills, but don't call me when you drop one in the bed. And he was like, wow. And I was just prepared to sit here and watch, and I was prepared to sit here and let you watch me take these pills. And I said, oh, okay, well, that's what I'm going to do, sit here and watch you take these pills. And I sat there and I watched him take the pills. And then later on, I had to give him his insulin, and I actually held the needle to his stomach for 10 seconds, and he was shocked. He was like, wow, you're the only nurse that actually sits here and hold the pen to me for 10 seconds. And I was like, yeah, because if I take the pen away, the insulin going to be shooting out everywhere. And he was like, yeah, and I've seen that happen. I've seen them pull the pen away and it just shoot everywhere. Then later on, later on, I was like, well, I'm leaving at 3 o'clock. You got any parting words for me? And he was like, no, just have a good day, you know, and so whatever. And so he told me that. And then I had to come back in there because I found out we have a treatment nurse. So I was like, well, I thought I was going for the day, but I'm back to do your treatments. He said, and I was just sitting here wondering if anybody's going to do my treatments today because the treatment nurse isn't here. And he was like, and here you come rolling back up in here. And I was like, yeah, so let me see what I got to do. So I said, let me see what I got to do. And so after I did the treatments, he said, I just want to tell you, you get a gold star. He said service was gold stars all across the board today. I just want to let you know that. And I told him, oh, thank you. Thank you. That's music to a nurse's ears. Thank you. And so, like, I talk to the patients like that. I talk to them like I talk to them like, look, you gonna let me do this or not? Why are you giving me, that's how I talk. I be like, why y'all want to give me a hard time today? Why I got to get a hard time? Like, y'all gonna let me do this? You gonna take your medicine? Why we got to go through all this? You know, because they like talking like that. I talk to them just like that, y'all. But in the hospital, sometimes you got to be all the prim and proper, and like, I don't have time for that. I talk to my residents like they my granddaddy or my homeboy. You know, that's how I talk to them. That's how I do. And you just kind of get that rapport with your residents. And the family appreciate it too in long-term care, because sometimes you work somewhere, you there for 3 years, you have them same patients for like 3 years, you get comfortable with them. Now, I don't call them baby and honey and stuff like that because they say you're not supposed to do that, but you know, you get comfortable and it's more like home, you know, and they get comfortable with you, you get comfortable with them, and they'll be a little bit more agreeable to do things with you. So yeah, I can't really give you a time frame on how long it'll take to get comfortable. What I will say is give it 30 days. Now, like I say, if you absolutely feel like you are drowning, find someone to ask for some help to assist you. See if you get somebody to walk you through it, talk you through it, to assist you. Find you a me, okay? Find a me. Find out who is the Muriel in your facility. Because the Muriel in your facility is going to go, and every time she got the skill to do, she's going to say, you want to see this? You want to see me do this? Like when I'm about to do something, I had to pull a pick line in the long-term care facility the other day, y'all. They call me everything that RN got to do. They be calling me. And so I had to pull a pick line in the long-term care facility the other day. And so I called one of the LPNs I know who was in school, and I was like, you want to see me pull this pick line? And she was like, yeah, I want to. So we went in there and we pulled the pick line, and we had to, do the measurement. You're supposed to measure how much is out and then how long the pick line is once you get it out. And that's how you know if any pieces broke off inside their venal system or whatever. And so, yeah, we went through that whole process, and then she saw how, what I charted, how I charted the measurements and stuff for the pick line and stuff like that, y'all. I do, yeah. So find you a me. Find out who is the Muriel at your facility, and have her walk you through, maybe orient with her. I really wish I could orient with every new nurse that comes through the facility, because I would show them the right way to do things, and then I would show them the nurse way to do things. And then they would be so comfortable and so at ease in the facility. Yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I like to talk a lot, but sometimes I get stumbled over my thoughts and my words. And let me see, was there any other comments in here? Oh, implementing care. So y'all already know that I did a video. Y'all know I did a video talking about being a proactive nurse. And in me being proactive, I was implementing things per patient for their care. But there are other ways to be proactive for the facility. So say you see a way of doing things is not cohesive with a constructive work environment. Let's say it like that. So you can maybe try to implement some things to make it go better. Like, okay, like I say about huddles. If you see that it's just throughout the day, nobody's on one accord. Nobody knows what's going on with the patient. Nobody knows what's really going on. So you can implement nurse huddles in the morning in your facility, and you can do that by going to the DON and be like, hey, I noticed when I work that the CNAs don't know what's going on. Sometimes I don't know what's going on. Like, is there any way that we can like start doing huddles? You don't even have to ask the DON to do this, but to make it mandatory, because sometimes, you know, grown people don't like to listen to other grown people. Like if you were the nurse and you're talking to your techs and you're being like, hey, we're gonna have to start doing nurse huddles at the beginning of the shift, when half the time half the CNAs ain't even there, or the nurses, to be honest, ain't even there at the beginning of the shift. But once you have everybody there, you can do like a quick 2-minute huddle, so to let them know, okay, these are the patients who have appointments today. These are the vital signs that I need if you want them to do your vital signs. These are the patients who are have dialysis today, so this is the time they need to be done. These are the patients who have dressings I need to do, so can you let me know when you're, can you come grab me when you're changing them or whatever, so I can come and do their dressing. Like, do those type things. Like, implementing that right there will save you so much time. And headache and confusion, because one or two little things can throw your whole shift off from y'all not being on the same accord. You can ask, can they do like a suggestion box? So like one facility I work, y'all excuse me, I don't know what they barking at. So one facility I work, we had this thing like a suggestion box on each floor. And if you had a suggestion for something to implement in the facility, you drop it in the suggestion box, and the people in the head departments, they pulled it out like every day or every week, and in their morning meetings they would look over the suggestions and they would see like, is this something that could really work for this facility? If it's something for care for a patient, as far as like not ADL care but medical care for a patient, put it in the doctor's book. Just make sure that you dot your I's and you cross your T's. Like, don't go just asking for something medically for a patient when you don't have anything to back it up. So say like, I want my blood pressure and medications to be parameters of stuff. I back it up by having printouts of the last 30 days of blood pressures on this patient. Say I want medication to be DC'd or changed, is because I have medication to be discontinued, is because I have proof of documentation of this patient refusing this medicine 2 weeks, and we're like, it's supposed to be 3 days and you're supposed to let the doctor know, but sometimes patients never take the medicine. So it's like, why are we continuously pulling this medicine up when the patient not going to take it? So we have documentation showing that this patient has consistently refused this. It ain't gonna be therapeutic because they ain't taking it, basically. So let's discontinue this. So you have a patient who, like I had a patient who I noticed has even with utensils on their tray, they eat their food with their hands. So I suggested we do finger foods for that patient. So I went to speech therapy and I wrote an order for a speech eval for the patient, and then I let the speech therapist know it's because this is how the patient eats. Had another patient who doesn't have real good dexterity in their hands when they use their spoon to eat, and their food was sliding off the tray. So I taught the speech therapy, and I was like, is there any way this patient can get a plate that has the lifted side, the lip, how I'm talking about, the plates like how they have like a little concave, so that when they're using their spoon to get the food up, it's not all falling on the floor. Like things like that you can implement as a nurse. And y'all, I think I know it all. I just been in the game so long, and I've seen so many things that it took time for me to get these things, and I don't want it to take the 15-20 years it took for me to get it. I don't want it to take that long for y'all. I want y'all to be able to get it within like the first year or two, like, because y'all have somebody actually showing y'all instead of y'all having to make the mistakes, or this video is almost an hour, y'all, so I'm going to get off here. I hope this helped you, Miss BB2890. If y'all have any more questions, just leave them down below, and yeah, I will make a video to answer them. I'm all for suggestions, because I feel like sometimes I say the same things over and over, but I got to remember that I have new subscribers, and they may not go back and watch the old videos. So I'll just, if it takes me making the same videos over, that's fine. I'll do that. I'll do it. It's no problem. Talk to you guys later. I'm going to see what I can go find out here to eat, because I'm hungry. Till next time. Bye.